Hey, I beat you. Welcome back from B to Z. No.
A's allowed. I'm Ant. This is
A Domesticated John. And we have a movie this week that we were a recommendation.
Yeah, we had a recommendation this week.
From one of our subscribers.
Said, hey,
subscriber, we're going to do the movie that you recommended. And we will do movies that you recommend.
if y'all recommend movies.
Yeah, we'll review them. Hey, if you want us to review them. So the movie we're going to review, you know me, the R's, the V's, and W's. Review today is called
The Inheritance.
I was going to say, how many
I was waiting for you to stop, and I'm like, yeah, it's just going to keep going. And then I was like, all right, I better just go.
Just go right in there. Get in there.
Okay.
All right, so The Inheritance. We found it on Netflix. You can find it on
Netflix.
I guess Netflix. It was starring. One thing I did like about it. The father was the father of. He's the voice of Vinny Cartoonies animations.
Oh yeah.
Funnies. Darn it. Talk. You looked it up.
Oh yeah, he's the guy in the wheelchair from Family Guy.
From Family Guy, yeah, he has a very strong voice.
Emperor's New Groove.
Strong chin. That's what it is. The Emperor's New Groove. That's where I got it from, and that's where I was looking. Yep. So he's in it. He's the father in it. He's only in it for a brief moment. He has another cameo in there.
Yeah, and Michael Beach. They're probably the only two people you know.
Michael B. Jordan is not in it.
Michael Beach.
Michael Beach.
The black guy.
That's his name. I was saying soul food. I just was saying soul food in it. Soul food's in it. That's what I was gonna say. Soul food's in it. If you don't know who Michael Beach
he's one of the guys.
You should know him, but you may know him by Soul Food. Terry Husband. That's Terry Husband. So Terry Husband is in there. And
I don't think I know anybody else in there.
I don't think I know anybody
else
either.
If anybody from the movie see and be like, hey, why you don't know me? I was in a bunch of stuff.
They don't know you either, I mean, so why you don't know us?
But I'm saying if they see this, then they know us because they've been watching our stuff.
Oh, you do know us. Hi, we know you now. Well done. So start of the movie comes. The movie starts off, and yes, remember we're going to talk about the movie. So we would I'll recommend this movie. I think, yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I'll recommend.
So all right. So in the beginning, what happened?
I'm getting it's a lady in a courtroom, right? That's how it started.
I saw this. This is my second time. I had to watch it again with Anthony because I saw it first. And I still don't remember the beginning of the movie. It's almost as if my brain shuts off. And it doesn't start up until 10 minutes into movies. Because this is the second time I saw it from the beginning and still don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it was a little montage of her in the courtroom, her brother doing his thing, her dad having his heart, what we thought was a heart attack.
It wasn't a heart attack because he was snotting. Snotting and his eyes was bleeding and stuff like that. It
wasn't bleeding, it was all bloodshot.
It was bloodshot. Like somebody hit him with a bat. But anyway, it didn't look like a heart attack to me. But I really don't know what heart attacks look like, and I really don't want to know. Yeah. So.
And I was wondering why it took so long. I'm like, damn, that's a long ass heart attack. Yeah. But we find out later it wasn't a heart attack. Yeah. But either way.
So after the montage.
Yeah, after the montage, she finds out at the end of the montage in front of the cameras and stuff because they're interviewing her. That her father died.
Yes, that was so corny. It was the journalist walked up and said, hey, we just got news in that your dad's dead. Like,
what do you think?
Do
how do you feel about that?
That's just horrible.
Yeah, she was like, oh. And then next
what did she do again?
She was like, oh. Yeah, she didn't really cry. She was just like, oh.
She did a robot. She robot cried.
And next scene, reading. They're at the funeral and
then the will is being read.
Yeah, they filthy rich.
Filthy rich.
She's the Manhattan DA. Her brother's running for mayor, and they're filthy rich.
Yeah, they're like at Summer House.
Yeah,
and the Summer House has a pond.
And it looked like a lake off to the side.
I told you this week, no shark. Y'all should watch that review.
Don't you bring that movie
okay, the movie is iconic now in my soul. Okay, enough about Noah Shark. We were talking about the Inheritance. Yes, I keep getting the I-N in there, and I keep forgetting the rest. Inheritance. All right, so they're reading the will.
Yeah. And found out that shady
stuff. Yeah.
That shady to the daughter anyway. Like, he give millions of dollars to this and millions of dollars to that, and takes care of the brother, takes care of the mother, and then tells the daughter,
"You get $1 million.
You get $1 million." Which, I mean,
million. And she's the oldest.
Yeah. But it turns out like they never really had a good relationship. I couldn't get the word out.
Admirable.
See, and you can't.
Admirable.
Yeah, so you can't get it out either. I knew it wasn't going to come out.
Admirable.
At least not today. I'll say it another day for you.
All right, so but before everybody else leaves after the will is being told, and Terry's husband comes up to her and says, "Hey,
I said, who Terry?" And I realized you still talking about soul food.
Soul food says, "Come on, I got other stuff to tell you because your dad left this
something else for you,
envelope for you."
Boom. So we all thought it was some more money and stuff. And they was cheap on the first million. You gave $50 million to the fifth.
To just the churches and hospitals and police and firemen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she go in the room. She sees what's in the envelope, and then
it's a
hard drive.
Yeah, and and some keys.
And keys. So she looks at it, and then the voice comes on, and the father in the wheelchair from Family Guy.
"I never had the balls to tell you this. If you're seeing this, then I died without telling you this. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Handle this, and only you should know about this."
Yeah.
And I think he keeps going out the frame. I think your head is so big that it keeps going out the frame. No. So yes. So she ends up, and that's the one thing that I had to be very inconspicuous. Why are the words not working? Inconspicuous.
See, that one came out.
Abominable. Inconspicuous.
Abominable, like the snowman?
Yes.
That's not what I was trying to say earlier.
Admirable.
No, that wasn't what I was trying to say. I was trying to say it still won't come out.
You don't even know how to say it.
You're right. It won't come out today.
So he says to her where your fort was. And then it goes a flashback of her playing at the fort, and then he grips up and like, "What's wrong with you?"
It kicks the fort. Stay away from here. Never come in here.
He shakes it up, and then she gets like shaky baby syndrome, and then she recovers because she wasn't a baby. Yeah. But he shakes up and was like, "Rah, rah," and destroys the fort. He was not a nice dad.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this was years ago, and it was all the debris from him stopping it was still there when she came back.
Yes, it's like every year she just goes back and picks it for it, and then she just waits for him to shake it up. I guess they're ritual or something. So she goes back there. It really wasn't hidden. It was a little bit astroturf.
It was a green carpet. That's all it was a green carpet.
And no leaves covering it. She just ripped it open, and then it was like a cellar. Yeah. She goes down the cellar. I wouldn't have went down no cellar.
I'd have went down there if you gave me the key and everything else. I'm like, all right,
by yourself, and then just leave the door open like somebody can't lock you down there.
Yeah, but nobody knows I'm there, so ain't nobody.
A bear. I mean, really.
There was no private property.
A bear. You don't think bears be on private property? Like they be like registers and stuff. Yeah, and possums. A raccoon could have pushed it down. They got hands.
Well, I mean, she unlocked it, so I mean, just push it back open.
You don't know this from the outside. I don't trust people, or bears, or possums, or raccoons, because raccoons got hands. So she goes down these dark steps in the dark hallway to a dark room.
Yeah, she turns the light on. Mm-hmm. It's a man chained to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Sleep in a chair and dirty, really, really, really dirty.
Yeah. So she comes over, she creeps over to him, and touches him. He goes, "Ah!"
And then she
runs out
and closes. She closes the door and just runs. She doesn't even cover it up.
Yeah.
They must be rich because I mean wealthy weird. They have all these acres and acres of land, and it's just private property and no bears.
Or anybody to come just stumble upon it and find the man in the hole.
All right, so she goes back in. She thinks about it. Then she goes. Oh, the family's still in the house, and she calls 911.
Yeah, and then
she's like, "Oops, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, my daughter was playing on the phone line."
Because black kids don't call 911.
If they got a white parent, they might.
Maybe. All right. So after that, the family leaves. She stays at the house, and then she goes back down in the cellar.
Well, she goes. Yeah,
she gets the fingerprints. That's what you didn't see. The fingerprints. She fingerprints him and sends it off to someone because she's part of the DA and she's trying to figure out
who this guy is. Yeah.
Bam.
Then she sends her family home. Her husband and her daughter and
the mama.
Yeah, they leave because they're at the summer house where the dad died, and so everybody goes home except her. She stays there, even though she's supposed to go back, so she can go back to work because she's working
on a big case that's going to hurt her brother in some kind of way politically.
Well, only she didn't find that out right away. In the beginning, it was all going to help him. It was going to build the family. It was going to build everybody. It was going to be the biggest case of her career. And then her brother running for mayor. It all was going to build up, yeah. But come to find out, her father had some dirty stuff involved in that. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. It's there, not here right now.
Yeah.
So, she goes back down the cellar with a masquerade mask on.
All weird.
And he's like, come on, let me just see you. And she's like, duh, I can see you because like, it's a mask.
And then he says her name, her date of birth, everything. Like, I know everything about you. Like, stop playing.
So she takes the mask off. And she's asking him what you want. Like, no,
well,
I want to know who are you.
Yeah.
And he said, give me a steak.
Yeah. He gives her all these demands if you want.
Some cigs.
Yeah, get some cigarettes.
And some key lime pie. Yeah. And some of that. No yams. So he ain't say that. He ain't say he want no yams. He was like, I don't want no yams. I eat pumpkin pie. So,
he ain't say that either. He just wanted key lime pie.
But you been locked up. He been locked in there for 30 years. You ain't gonna want no yams?
Not from her.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway. So she's like, no, I'm not gonna do this for you. And he's like, you're gonna do this for me. She ends up giving into his demands. All right, first of all, what would you have done?
So, yeah, if my dad leaves me the stuff and I go open it and I find the man in the cellar, I'm like, oh, didn't see that. Locking it up. He dies. He starves to death in the cellar. I never looked down there again. It wasn't my problem. Not gonna make it my problem.
And my dad had a reason for that, and I can't ask my dad, so I'm gonna leave that where it is.
Yep. He didn't explain it on the hard drive he left, so
he said, don't let nobody know about it, and nobody knows about it.
Yep, this is your inheritance. Well, you know what? I'll leave it where it's at.
Yeah. Never found it. I think that would have been the end of the movie.
Yeah, for me, yep.
Yeah, there's no way.
I wouldn't have wanted no answers. I'd have been like, nope, this is...
Ain't none of my business. I'd be minding my business.
Especially I'd have looked and seen how old and dirty he was. He's been here for a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, she's not minding her business. She goes to mind somebody else's business.
Well, it's her business now. Her dad made it her business.
Her dad made it her business, yes. That's messed up.
Yeah, I think
giving her no money. He make it leave a dirty old man, and she had to figure out all this stuff. So she ends up going. She does all these investigation stuff, trying to figure out who's who, what happened.
Yeah. Oh, he tells her about the girlfriend.
Tells about the girlfriend. So the father had a mistress.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uncle Ma.
For a long time.
And he took care of her.
Very well.
Very well. In Manhattan and stuff. Yeah. They got a little son. She got a half brother.
Yeah, she found out about
it. She signed the NDA. I was about to say DNA.
Yeah. After they checked the DNA, she signed the NDA.
They signed the NDA. And so she's never going to tell anything. So she's made everything the man was telling her was true about her father. So the reason why he went down there, that's what it was. The reason why he was down there is because he said that they were
friends, out gambling, drunk, hanging out, whatever, and
they drove.
And they were driving somewhere one night, and they crashed and killed somebody.
And the father didn't want anything to happen to his reputation, so he buries him, and then he hits the friend over the head and
with the shovel,
drags him back into the cellar, and he kept him there for 30 years. 30
You done already killed one person. So this also didn't make
any sense. Because if I was in that situation, which I wouldn't be in a situation like that, because that's not a good thing to be in a situation to do. And never want that to happen to anyone. I'm going to put that. I don't even want to put myself in that situation. In the movie,
the man said nobody, no crime.
Yeah, why didn't he just kill the other person and just throw him on top of the other body?
I mean, he was already burying one. But instead, you hit him in the head with a shovel and bring him back and chain him in a cell
for 30 years. Weird. And tell him all about your business. I understand y'all were friends, but
the fact that he went down there like every day, played chess with him, and told him all his business.
Yeah, like he everything. He knew everybody, and the grandchildren, knew school awards and all kinds of stuff. Like, he followed everything about these people. So this must have been like a regular friendship. I guess that's kind of sweet.
He also beat him on a regular basis too.
But you fight your friends sometimes.
No.
I think it's sweet that he didn't. He said, you know what? I love you. No. And I don't know how to do you, but I need you to be here so we can be friends. And they played chess together. They ate chocolate.
He gave him chocolate. He gave
him one cube of chocolate.
Every Christmas. For 30 years.
For the whole year. That was his only treat.
And then he would take the rest of the chocolate bar and put it out of his reach over on the other wall so he could stare at it and never have it.
That's hilarious. And that's the one thing I didn't understand. Why didn't he take his sheet and like try to make something? He had stuff around to kind of hit that, because I would have got that candy bar. I would have got that.
I'd have got the hell out of there. You ain't keeping me nowhere for 30 years. You'd have had to kill me.
And just like you were saying, like pulling the chain, eventually in 30 years, it would have worn.
Yeah,
Right.
Either
that just wasn't logistically.
I don't know, or I'd have broke my own neck just going like this. Chained to the wall. I don't know, but I know you ain't keeping me there for 30 years without killing me or me killing me or something. I'm not staying in that hole for 30 years.
Yeah. So, what happened after that?
All right,
where were we? Asked about the chocolate because we went back and talked about the chocolate.
Yeah, we went back.
When
she was telling her all about
the
her
girl,
dad.
the everything. Oh, that's what it was. Everything that he said was true.
She unchained him and took him to go find the body. To prove that her dad really killed somebody and hit somebody with the car and they really buried the body. And 30 years of being in a cell since the night it happened, and you remember right where it was.
And that says a lot about him, because once I got out of there, she's a little person. Really, really little person. I would have rushed.
And he was in there, he old as shit, but he in there doing push-ups and stuff.
Pushes like on his fingertips and stuff like that. Yeah. Just stuff like that. And
he could have whooped her ass and ran away at any time.
And she holding the gun, and then she on the phone like, hey.
She put the gun in her pocket once.
Don't say anything because I'm on the phone. Hey, so.
Because I'll shoot you. Yeah, like you already on the phone and don't want nobody to hear me, so like, you going to shoot me while you're on the phone? Like, none of that made sense.
And then he was approaching her, like, really close to her. Like, when he turned, his hand and the gun was, like, like this. No way.
Yeah, when she took him back after they found the body, and she cried again because she found out her dad really is as bad as the boy was telling her.
Oh, but when she was there on the body, she dug up the body. For one, he would have dug up the body because he's a man. Mm-hmm. And he definitely wasn't a gentleman in that sense, because he should have took the shovel and dug that grave.
I mean, you should have had plenty of energy. Been sitting in the same place for 30 years.
Yes. So he didn't. He sat there and smoked cigarettes. That should have told her something about him.
He had the flashlight.
And the flashlight. He held the flashlight.
She told
a woman's jobs.
And I mean, she wouldn't have been able to aim at you neither if you just throw the flashlight this way and run that way in the dark.
But then she's laying down, the guns on the side of her, and she's pushing the dirt back in the thing. Push her down there. Hit her with something. Run away.
Yeah.
That just didn't make any sense. So that said a lot about him. Then she takes him back in, and he goes back inside to get locked up again.
Yeah, at gunpoint. Like, nope. I'd be like, nope, shoot me. Nope, shoot me. I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
So, and that gun, it looked real fake. It looked really big.
It looked
like a flare gun.
Yeah, it did. Kind of.
Yeah, it looked like a flare gun because she was really tiny. It looked like a flare gun that they painted black. Yes, that was what it was. Really bad job in props. It was a flare gun painted black because that was a flare gun. So he goes back into the den.
Bunker.
The bunker.
The hole in the ground.
And she goes and she does more investigation, but eventually I don't remember myself. We just watched it. I don't remember that. Go watch the movie. Yeah. But she goes and she tells the lawyer that she wants to set him free.
Yeah. The same lawyer who gave her the inheritance and everything else, who knows all her dad's dirt. But turns out doesn't know all her dad's dirt because she didn't know her dad had God in the basement.
Terry husband. Soul food.
Yeah, so he...
Or Tyrone.
So he's supposed to get him a passport, $1 million bank account, and a private jet to get out of there.
Yes.
So she bring him some stuff to clean himself up in a new suit and tell him, you're leaving here tonight. And didn't come back to the next morning, which I thought was weird anyway. Like, you told him he was leaving that night.
Yeah. And, go ahead. You can keep talking.
Leaving that night and then...
okay. So morning. She gets them together and he goes to the airport. There's a private jet.
Hangar,
And she's like, hey, if you come back, I got this evidence. I can plant stuff on you.
Yeah.
So
she took a lock of his hair. Like, I will... Every cold case for the last 30 years, I'll blame you for it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I didn't get the thing about the key lime pie. What was the semblance of the key lime pie?
Yeah, he kept repeating the recipe for a key lime pie. Like, it was the only thing he had to read down there for 30 years. Yeah, but there was books down there. That was the whole thing that got me. And you talk to somebody on a regular basis. So even if that was the only thing he had memorized the recipe for key lime pie. So, like, he just kept repeating it all through the movie.
It was a long recipe either. So it wasn't like the brightest thing to memorize. And anyway, he gives that to her. Still don't understand the semblance of it. Maybe it's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And key lime pie. I just don't know about key lime pie. Maybe it's like a Catcher in the Rye or some book about something and it was a semblance and who knows. It wasn't that interesting, the key lime pie stuff.
Just,
So she goes back. She thinks he's on the road or in the air in the plane. The mother finds the package that she had been asking about, this missing person.
With the fingerprints, where she turned her fingerprints in. And
it goes to the house.
Yeah, and for some reason, we don't know why, but her mom just decided to come back up to the summer house, and that's where she was doing all of this at. So her mom finds the package and opens it and sees the picture of the boy.
Which is against the law. You can't open people's mail. So go ahead.
Like my mom said, if it come to my house, I won't ever come. No, shouldn't have my anything address in this address. My
household.
Wah.
It's your open your mail. So she's like, who is this man? Why do you have this information about this man? And she's like, there's Morgan.
And she's like, that ain't no damn Morgan.
Ain't Morgan, this is a bad person. What you doing? She's like,
oh, he's evil. Yeah. This man's pure evil. And his mom like, how do you know him? And mom's like, no, how do you know him? And it's like, I know him because your dad had him locked. Your husband had him locked in the basement. And she was like, what you mean locked in the basement? She was like, locked in the basement. She was like, well, no, where is he at now? I set him free. No, don't set him free. He's evil.
So she's like, I'll run to the airport. Why would she go back to the airport? Because they should have been left. It was hours. And she
the plane was still there, and the black guy was dead.
And Terry husband.
Yeah, he was dead.
Right, because
and the pilot was dead.
Cousin on Soul Food. And if he never slept with Terry cousin on
that
Soul
might have been
Food,
what he was doing when he wasn't reading Harold and stuff.
Oh, well, that's what happened.
Get out of here.
Anyway, Terry husband died. He got stabbed in the neck with the queen. Chest piece of the queen.
Well, I don't think he killed him with the queen because it was a wooden queen. It wasn't like
But anyway,
he left it on him, like more symbolism.
Yeah, so he's dead. And then she runs back to the house. She's like, oh, mom, she don't call nobody or nothing. Call her brother or anything. Her brother was shady anyway. Her brother was going to like kill. He like, I'll kill anybody.
He was trying to be mayor. Yeah, he was trying to be mayor.
My family, I'll kill you. If you do this, I'll kill you. And he wasn't even tough. He wasn't tough.
Yeah.
None of them was tough. She used to, and I didn't like how she was yelling at the people. These young folks out here nowadays just be talking to people like elders.
She was talking to her father's mistress like that woman did something to her. Woman. Yeah, like I was like, you ain't gonna come to my house and disrespect me. Like your father was the shady one. Like I didn't do shit shady. I ain't married to nobody.
Yeah. So anyway, and she was talking to Terry's husband all kind of crazy too. It's like he's a grown up.
Yeah.
You better cut it out, little girl. Anyway, so she rushed back to the house, of course. The crazy man, Morgan.
Yeah, then already got her mama.
Got the mama, took her back to the bunker.
Yeah. Why this motherfucker want to go back to the bunker? Like, he had to been crazy.
So he's like, oh, I'm crazy. You didn't know I'm crazy. He gets her in the bunker, too. Well, she goes to the bunker, and she has a gun. Instead of staying where she was, and just because only one way in and one way out, stay in one entrance, hold the gun. When he come, pop him. She goes looking around for him and stuff. Yeah. So he gets her, chains her up.
Yeah.
Mom was in there. He must have broke her rib or broke her arm.
He beat mom up and drug her down.
And he's like, ha ha ha, I'm a crazy bad man. I'm crazy. And then they go back and forth. Yeah. She gets him eventually. He beats up a lot.
You're going to tell him the last secret? Or you're going to make him watch it?
They have to watch it.
There's another secret.
It's going to you too. And so
it's going to go boo. That's what I didn't go I went boo.
It would have been so much better if the way I wanted it to turn out. But anyway, watch the movie The Inheritance. Yes. The Inheritance. I would say it was a recommendation from one of our subscribers. Good recommendation.
Yeah. Better than no shark.
But I did see the shark in the pond. All right, never mind. So thanks for watching. Please tuning in. Tuning is for the radio. Press and play. Going to YouTube. Subscribing. Thanks for subscribing, liking.
Commenting. Tell us to watch something else.
Tell us to watch something else. comment on things that we've done before. Watch the shows.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks again. This is from B to Z. No
A's allowed.
See you next movie. We did it right this time, yeah? And that's from B to Z. No A's allowed. See you next movie.